Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing my 32-week update this video. This may or may not be a quick video because Nicholas is sleeping, quote unquote, because he just woke up, but I gave him a bottle to see if he would go back down. He kind of wanted to take an early nap today. And guys, it has been so hard to get ready today. Like, I had to stop so many times because I was just so lightheaded. And I've been drinking water this morning, so it was just kind of one of those things that came out of nowhere. And it happens sometimes after I take like a shower because I get hot, but I just wasn't expecting it, which when do you ever expect it? So it took me so long to get ready. So the whole time I was supposed to be filming this video while he's taking a nap, I was like just sitting there trying not to like go to sleep because I was like so lightheaded. Other than that, I'm fine. I don't need to go to the hospital or anything. It's just normal pregnancy dizziness. But speaking of hospitals, my 32-week update is going to be kind of more of an experience / story time update than an actual symptom update because nothing has really changed with my symptoms. But I had my doctor's appointment on Tuesday, and this is why I didn't upload a video that day. One, I had 2 appointments that day, but I had a 9:30 appointment that morning to see my normal OBGYN. And as soon as I got there, they hooked me up on the monitor, or like it's the 2-piece one where they are monitoring the baby's heartbeat as well as like if you're having contractions. I don't know why they didn't even tell me what they were doing. I just kind of went in there and they like hooked me up, and I was, you know, I've been in labor before, so I knew what it was. But my like OBGYN for Nicholas, I'm going to a different doctor, and they didn't do that there. They never monitored me there, so it was a new experience. And as soon as they put me on the machine, I start having contractions, like 3 to 6 minute apart contractions. That they're not like real one. Well, they were real enough for them to be worried, but they weren't, let me say, painful. It was just a lot of pressure. And so my doctor comes back in, and she's like, after checking me, and then she saw that, you know, that they were pretty close together and that I was having them regularly. And she was like, were you having these before when you came in? And I was like, no, it's like I just sat down, and he was his first time on a monitor and he just wanted to show off, and here I am having contractions. So she left to see if for a couple minutes to see if they would continue, and they did. And so she comes back in and she's like, all right, so I'm gonna send you over to the hospital. Luckily, the hospital and like this OBGYN are kind of like under the same roof, in the sense of like they're not in the same building, but like they're like under the same, like they're both Lee Memorial. That's like the name of our hospital. So it's like right across the street is the hospital. So my mother-in-law is with me, thank the Lord, because Nicholas was also with me, and I have no idea what I would have done if I would have just been me and Nicholas. And so they get me off the monitor. They tell me that I'm going to go over to the hospital, that they're going to give me a fetal fibronectin test, and they said that what they're looking for is the negative for this test, because there are a lot of things that could come up positive for it, like if you've had sex within 24 hours or, you know, any kind of anything's inside your vagina, like it'll most likely come back positive. But they're wanting the negative because the negative means that I will most likely not go into labor within the next 2 weeks. But it comes back positive, then there's like a chance that I could. So they send me over to the hospital. I go in, and like in our hospital, I think I talked about this in my my birth story because it's the same hospital. You go to like this tiny room, and they like check you in, and then I go to like, they don't take me up to like their triage rooms. They have like emergency rooms like right there. They're like smaller rooms that are like for kind of what situation that I was in, where I wasn't in like real labor, or like if you can't make it up to the room because you're about to push out a baby, they'll like stick you in those rooms too. So they put me in there, and in total, I'm probably there for like 2.5 hours. I'm waiting for like 20 minutes for them to figure out if they're going to send me upstairs to their triage rooms or if they're going to keep me down there. and they're all confused by like this whole situation because I don't know, like they just didn't know like the circumstances, I guess. Like if something wasn't explained right and I couldn't help them. And so they finally get me in a room and they hook me up to the monitors again, and they're checking me like, you know, but by checking me I mean that they're, you know, monitoring the baby and my contractions. They hooked me up to an IV after a while, like it had been a while. That was, I think, after she swabbed me for the fibronectin test. And so pretty much what they do is they take a cotton swab, like a long cotton, like a long Q-tip, my bad, and they put it inside you and let it sit there for a little bit so it can soak up the goods, and then they send it off to the lab to be tested for this specific test. And then after that, like I said, she hooked me up on an IV, and then I was there for probably like an hour and a half just in that room. And luckily my test came back negative, which is good. And it's like as soon as my test came back negative, my OBGYN came in. She was working in the hospital that day, and she checked. She had like an assistant with her, like it was a newer OBGYN for our practice, for their practice. She wasn't like a new nurse, and she's the one who checked my cervix to see if my contractions were causing me to dilate at all, and I wasn't. I think they said I was like still like an inch thick, like my cervix was, so the contractions weren't changing anything. But when you're at 32 weeks, it's kind of scary to be having any kind of like regular contractions, like, and they just wanted to make sure. So my test came back negative, my cervix hadn't changed at all, and I'd taken like a whole bag of IV fluids, and by then my contractions were kind of doling off and becoming, you know, irregular and non-existent pretty much. By the time I left there, they were probably like 20 minutes apart and really not as like full of pressure. So they were like, all right, everything's good, you can go home. So I was there for about an hour and a half, and so my appointment was at 9:30. I left the hospital probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock, ate lunch in the hospital, and then I had another appointment at 3:15 to see my specialist. Busy day, right? So if anybody has any questions, like that's pretty much what would happen if you went into preterm labor and you weren't like, your water didn't break. Like that's, I think, like what most OBGYNs do. Luckily, I already had an appointment that day when I came in, so I think that I don't really know the procedure if you were having the contractions at home, but I most likely would think that they would tell you to come into your OBGYN or tell you to go to the emergency room. But they probably have you take the same test and, you know, hook you up to IV fluids and do that whole shebang that they did with me. So heads up to any moms out there that are nervous about preterm labor, that's probably what's going to happen. Other than that, like I said, it was like that was my 32-week update. Like that, I was literally just turned 32 weeks on Tuesday, and then all this stuff happens. I'm so glad that he's not ready to come out, because I was, you know, I've talked about this before, I'm kind of scared of going preterm, but this is the first time that like I was like, you need to stay in a little longer, please. Normally, like, I mean, at this point, I'm so ready not to be pregnant anymore, but I was not ready for him to come out. Like, that would have been crazy. They pretty much, I think that what they told me, that if I would have been positive for my test, they probably would have put me on steroids, and so that the baby would have, like, it's the baby's lungs, to make sure that things would probably develop a little faster. And like pretty much maybe keep me there for 2 weeks, or send me home, and then if my water broke, if I had contractions again, they would have like had me come in and, you know, have a baby, I guess. That I really didn't ask, because I was just ready to go home. Like when they told me I was good to go, I was like, great, no baby's coming today. But now I'm definitely going to be packing my hospital bag soon, just in case the baby decides that they want to be here, and I want to be prepared because I don't want anybody else packing my hospital bag for me. So I'll probably have that my like what's in my hospital bag video ready for you guys, and within the next week. All you moms who don't know, Babies R Us, Toys R Us, all that, those are going out of business. They're like gone. So if you have any gift cards or if you're wanting to get baby stuff, now is the time to go. Like right now. I think most Toys R Us's don't have baby stuff in them anymore. I have a Babies R Us gift card that I'm like going to be running to Babies R Us after this video once Nicholas wakes up so that I can see if they'll even take my gift card. So hopefully that works out. But like I said, I'll try to have a bit what's in my hospital bag up probably sometime within the next week. I also want to talk about kind of my my uploading situation. I'm no longer uploading twice a week at this time just because with being so tired, it's kind of hard to figure out what kind of videos I want to do, especially because a lot of times I'm not leaving my house anymore, so my day in the life videos would be kind of boring. I thought about doing what I eat in the day kind of thing, so if you guys are interested in that, let me know. And I would do it for me and for Nicholas. But other than that, I probably won't until after the baby's here because it's just too much to put on my plate right now. But if I do, like, if I'll still do my pregnancy updates every week. And then if I would like if I would upload a like what's in my diaper bag video, that would be my second upload for that week probably. So that's the only time I'll probably do like a 2 upload kind of thing. That's my 32-week update. I'll go ahead and show you guys my wait, I need to tell you about my specialist appointment. So, I've talked about this in my earlier videos that I have the 2-vessel cord situation going on with my umbilical cord, and what that means is that I only have a 1 vessel and 1 artery instead of 2 arteries and 1 vessel, or like vein. And so most of the time this situation, it comes up with no problems whatsoever. Luckily, I have no problems. I actually do not have to go see them again for another 4 weeks, and that's when my 36-week update, and that'll be the last time I probably see them ever, because the baby will be born, not born, but they don't need to see me again after that unless something comes up, and they said like most likely everything's fine. And that since everything's developed now, like the baby's heart is fully developed, those kinds of things, that there's most likely nothing can go wrong, except like with my personal labor, not so much the baby anymore. Like there's no, like they said, there's no problems like that they can really look for, I guess, because she said that they don't need to see me as often as they thought that they would. But I have to go see my normal OBGYN every week because of this whole preterm experience that I had on Tuesday. But I just wanted to give you guys that heads up because I know I have some moms that are following me that also have the 2-vessel cord problem. So if your baby, you know, is already fully developed, probably once you get past like your 30 weeks, you probably will have the same thing with me, where they're like, all right, we really don't need to see you that often. Which is good. I hope that you guys are like that because I know how like nerve-wracking it is. I'm going to show you guys my baby bump and then I'm going to close this video off. Alright, here is the bump at 32 weeks. It's hard to believe that I'm at 8 months, right? Alright guys, I hope this video was informative. Let me know if you have any questions about like my hospital experience or the 2-vessel cord or anything like that, and I'll be happy to answer those questions in the comments. Or if you just want to leave a comment, go ahead. Like this video if you liked it, and if you want to see more of my content, then go ahead and subscribe. Bye guys.